Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz, and this video blog is for my weekly column, Black Quarterback, in which I talk about all the news and going ons within the NFL. But we already know what's going on right now. We got the Super Bowl coming up this weekend, Super Bowl LV2. I think it's Super Bowl 57, whatever. Not a no Roman numerals guy. It's all good. so, um, but yeah, got an exciting matchup coming up. It'll be the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Both of them number one seeds, and you know what? Let's just go ahead and get into all of that right now. So, a couple of things that I just really like about both teams, as far as like their strengths and just the tell of the tape type of deal. So the tell of the tape on both teams is this: for the Kansas City Chiefs, they're coming off an impressive win against the Cincinnati Bengals, and it was impressive because the Chiefs had to go through a lot to actually get that win. One of the big stories going into that game was Patrick Mahomes' high ankle sprain. And, if you saw that game, didn't look like he had too high of an ankle sprain. He was able to move around a little bit more than assumed, including running for a first down in the dwindling moments of the game. And, that first down actually turned into, a 15-yard penalty that set them up for the game-winning field goal. Thanks to one of the Bengals defenders. The injuries wasn't just the injury to Mahomes wasn't no injuries wasn't just reserved for Mahomes. Um, Travis Kelsey, he was dealing with a reported injury, reportedly dealing with a back injury going into the game as well. And then during the game, they lost one of their receivers, Juju Smith-Schuster, in this game. And so while like despite all of that, Mahomes, he still had a big game, still threw for over 300 yards in that game, and I'm saying, still was able to, like, obviously move around decently in the pocket. As far as the Eagles go, the Philadelphia Eagles, they've had another dominant performance, beating the San Francisco 49ers. Uh, excuse me, they had to fight the Niners off a little bit early on, but they were able to, like, kind of stave them off. Just really work control the clock in this game. The Jalen Hurts, he didn't have to do too much. The running game took care of everything. Four rushing touchdowns by the Eagles offense, including two by Miles Sanders, and then another one also by Hurts himself. So pretty much a big performance, big dominating performance by the Eagles in that game. Now, with that being said, I kind of want to talk about some strengths and weaknesses that I feel is on both teams before actually choosing somebody. So starting with the Chiefs, I feel like they have a ton of experience coming into this game, and it's obvious. They have Andy Reid as their head coach. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has been in every AFC championship since that has happened. Like, since he took over the starting job. Since he became the starter, he has not missed the AFC Championship. Thus, he has been in two Super Bowls as well. And so it's not just him; it's also Travis Kelsey, Chris Jones. You know what I'm saying? A, a staple on that defense, and we'll talk about that defense a little bit later. Mahomes and Kelsey, both of them are healthy. They're healthy as healthy can be. Last week, excuse me, in the AFC, going into the AFC Championship, the big story and concern was, what's going to happen with these guys during a game. And so, yeah, a big concern was what's going to happen with these guys during the game. And so, they kind of answered that. They obviously both showed up with Mahomes, excuse me, with not Mahomes, with Kelsey. He had a solid game, 7 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown. Just to what I'm saying, kind of help ease things over, help keep things competitive. As far as the Eagles go, in my opinion, they are the most complete team, like, in all the playoffs, and definitely I would say in the entire league. They have they can make plays just about anywhere. So on offensively, they can get it done in the air with their receiver groups. Obviously, with what I'm saying, Jalen Hurts under centers as well, throwing the ball out there. He has a lot of help with. With Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, who they just acquired during the last year's draft, and Quez Watkins. So he has a receiving group that can help him out and putting the ball in the air. If he doesn't want to go to the air, he has the option of going on the ground with himself, obviously, but also with Miles Sanders, who's a top 5 rusher in this league. So it's definitely two ways they can really take it with you. And they've obviously proven that in these last couple of games on how dominant they can be with the run game, just with, the deep running back stable that they have. Because it's not just Sanders on there, it's Kenneth Gainwell also. So definitely a deep team on offense. When it comes to defense, which is I feel is the most impressive part about this team, they have playmakers on all ends, on all levels. So they have a Brandon Graham that can get after the quarterback, in addition to a Hassan Reddick that can get after the quarterback, or just kind of maybe be that athletic spy that they're probably going to put on Mahomes. If it can't get done on the pass rush, then they have a secondary capable of making some huge plays. C.J. Gardner Johnson, in addition to Darius Slay. Those definitely two of the dangerous members of that secondary that can definitely make plays when it's time to make those plays. So what I don't like about either team, I'll start with the Chiefs again. Inconsistent receivers. I just don't feel like I can trust these receivers, and it was tough. It was tough for me to make this observation about the Chiefs as far as their receiving group, because I didn't want to get into a trap of comparing them to Tyreek Hill. To me, Tyreek Hill, I know we've got I know we gotten past. I know it's already been proven that Mahomes can be his best self without Tyreek Hill. My only thing is, I don't think Tyreek Hill is needed to make Mahomes a great quarterback or the best quarterback. I think Tyreek Hill is needed just to win the game. What I'm saying, he has that playmaking ability that you can leverage against teams. So if it seems like, defenses are just really, what I'm saying, making things tough out there for you, he's the guy that can kind of, what I'm saying, make things easier. And I don't think they have that um, in this Kansas City Chiefs receiving group. I think it's a decent group that can make big plays. They're capable of making big plays when they need to, but I don't trust them to I probably don't trust them when I need them the most. Shoot, I mean, Juju got hurt, last week. You know what I'm saying? And it's still Montez Valdez Scantling. He still stepped up and put up like 7 catches for, I think it was 100. Yeah, excuse me, 6 catches for 116 yards. So it's still pretty good numbers. You know what I'm saying? Still competitive numbers. So I'm just not trusting if he can. You know what I'm saying? If he's going to do that here, or somebody else is going to pick up that slack here. Um, and that's not counting, Travis Kelsey. So, he's a whole, he's his own different thing right now. He's part of that receiving group, but I don't really count him in like with these receivers. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I definitely have questions about, whether or not I could trust these receivers. Um, and the defense, they can be quite questionable as well. I feel like if I feel like it they'll make a play probably when it's the crunch time or whatever, but I don't know if I could just expect them to like just have a outstanding game like all around. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there'll be plays here and there that they can make, and they might, but they're still capable of giving up big plays. So it's a I don't really trust the defense too much as well. I think if the right play gets called or scheme gets called in the right situation, I could probably see something happen. But that's more so on the defensive coordinator and not so much the players themselves as far as the execution goes. Um, as far as the Eagles go, I think I don't think a lot of people have echoed that their strength of schedule has kind of been not that great. But it's one of the things that is one of the few things that I feel like is a weakness for them, for me. So with that said, like the I think the only time I remember when a team had like kind of a soft schedule and still shot to the Super Bowl was the St. Louis Rams back in '99 when they first the birth of that whole greatest show on turf era, like Kurt Warner's first year or whatever. And so I think it's probably only a handful of teams that have actually, made that type of that have made that type of elevation to the Super Bowl, and that's one of the few I can think of off the top of my head. However, in spite of all of that, in spite of them, having that weakness, they still been in this playoffs, just showing off, like, saying that they've still been in these playoffs showing that they belong. But I think that having a weak strength of schedule, it might play into it just a little bit. Um, and segueing into that, because they've had to dominate so much, I don't think Hertz has had to do much in this postseason. You know what I'm saying? Other than just running the ball, handing it off. I mean, he's thrown for under 200 yards in both of these games. So, I mean, I can't see like I don't know. He might be able to turn it on and kick it into full gear, but is it going to be something where it's too little, too late? You know what I'm saying? Because let me see if I can find it. I think I lost. I think I lost the page I was on, but okay. Mm, Yeah, so just double checking it right now, but yeah, like I said, he's thrown for under 200 yards in these last two games. And what would he need to throw for over 200, 300 yards for when they're beating teams 38-7, 31-7? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to put it. Obviously, they're not going to put him in risk of injury, but at the same time, you kind of have to wonder like is he suited up to like just really give it a go? You know what I'm saying? Is he really able to kick it in high gear on all levels? Because he has the as I mentioned before, he has the receivers to actually get things going, but can he get to that gear as far as like passing the ball? Because they're facing the Chiefs. Let's face it, they're going to need to put the ball down the field to actually get some points on the board. So, with that being said, um, I got to go with the Chiefs on this one. And look, I, it's game really wasn't that easy to just like pick considering all the factors that I just laid out. Like it's I mean, look, man, these are pretty two like evenly matched teams. And so there's the thing that really just drove it for me for the Chiefs. So Kansas City, they're coming in with the advantage of the experience. I think that plays out a lot. And the way I see it playing out is in the preparation leading up to the game and not just, physically and like in real time, but mentally as well. You know what I'm saying? So like this is the Super Bowl. This is the last game of the year. This decides who is the uh champion. You know what I'm saying? So obviously it's a big festival. Probably bigger than ever. You got cameras everywhere, celebrities everywhere, all this good stuff. It's in Phoenix. You got half the you got Kevin Durant being traded to Phoenix right now, so it's probably more of media down there. You know what I'm saying? So, um, it's just it's just a real circus, and that's just me looking at it from the outside. Imagine what the players have to go through on both teams. You know what I'm saying? With media of not just regular sports media, but what I'm saying, just people just trying to get some shine on their own little TV show or whatever. So, it's the experience of knowing how to deal with that mentally. Preparing for the game mentally and blocking out all distractions and getting everything set up for that. The Eagles have never, you know what I'm saying? Like this Eagles roster, they don't really know too much about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, they won their playoff games. They handled their business and they faced those challenges. But you know what I'm saying? You're dealing with something else that's gonna that's easily liable to get you distracted and knock you off your game. Second thing, I feel the intensity and pressure of the postseason has been stuck with the Chiefs this their entire run, straight up. So, like I mentioned before, Hurts the Eagles they've beaten teams decidedly, and they came out there, they handled their business. You can't knock them for that. You know what I'm saying? They've done it with ease, but they've never had to feel no. They haven't felt no real pressure yet. You know what I'm saying? They haven't felt that time tick. In that big game, in that moment, knowing that you can lose everything at that very moment. So with the Chiefs, they have. Go back to the divisional round where Mahomes suffered his high ankle sprain. It's possible that he was probably going to miss the rest of that game, and the Chiefs were going to be sitting ducks if he wasn't in that game. To be honest with you, they had to rely, they had to figure out a way to, get 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 a touchdown, score a touchdown without their starting quarterback, and then they had to figure out a way to actually have him actually win this game without him being fully healthy. So that intensity and that pressure of like just what I'm saying, just being pushed up on them and them overcoming that. They felt that in the divisional round, the second round, their first playoff game out the gate. Then come the second playoff game where they're dealing with their starting quarterback. It's kind of, reeling from that high ankle sprain. Um, they trying to figure out like, how are we going to get him to, still play his game, but not get him hurt, get him protected, not just with the O line, but, you know, throwing the ball, getting rid of the ball quickly as possible, and also running the ball efficiently to, keep the defenders off of him. So they had to figure something out with that, and not only that, they had to figure out how to win a game that they were just about to lose. You know what I'm saying? So they felt all that intensity, all that pressure on them, all that anxiety on them. It's chiseled them. You know what I'm saying? They've played two hard fought games, in a sense. And so they have all that kind of like it's just kind of built them up for this particular moment here. All they have to do is go out here and just expect whatever from this versatile defense, this versatile offense. How are we going to beat them? Well, we'll figure it out like we've always figured it out in this postseason. And so, you know what I'm saying? Even just them like figuring out how to get to the number one seed, even though that was it. That was a little choppy situation in his own, but whatever. You get the point. So yeah, I feel like they've been in an intense pressure filled mode from day one of their playoff run, and this Super Bowl is just gonna be another game for them with all of that applied to them. So those are my two things, man. Chiefs, they're gonna come in with the advantage of having the experience. Mahomes, he's been in AFC Championship every year that he started, and he's also been to two previous Super Bowls. So he'll have that knowledge on how to prepare and everything, and just how to, and not just him, but Kelsey, Andy Reid, all those guys. They'll have that knowledge on how to prepare through a circus week and just focus solely on the game to get a win. And also, they felt the intensity and pressure since day one of their playoff run, and they're just going to continue to bring all of that on and embrace uh, more a more intense game, a more pressure filled game in this weekend's Super Bowl. So that's all I got for y'all this week. Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. Holla black.